Hey everybody, Comic Crack. Just finished watching a Dr. Monkeybot video. He just had a big haul of stuff that he's been collecting over the past month, and he kind of ended it off with some Eclipse, PC, and First Comics stuff. And he was just talking about how, he wants to collect a lot of the smaller publishers and things. And it's very cool that he's going that route, because there definitely is some real gems to find. And as he was saying in his video, a lot of great artists and as he says, creators coming through some of these companies, and not only going through maybe one company, but kind of going towards through all of them. I think if I'm getting this right, I believe it was PC that turned into Eclipse, or it was the other way around. I can't remember which one, but I'm pretty sure that there was some link as far as which company dissolved or sprouted from an old one. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure on that. So just on that note, I had left a message on his video as well too, that maybe I'd just kind of show off what I have. I know Tony at Why Not Art, he has a lot of this kind of stuff too. The great thing about some of these companies is you can usually find them for fairly cheap, or I can anyway, and they also seem to be pretty much all over the place. Sometimes you really have to dig for them in the shops around Winnipeg here anyway, but they usually show up, and then at flea markets and stuff too here, I usually end up seeing them. At the flea markets, I usually end up seeing a lot of these first couple of things I'm going to show you, these first series that I'm going to show you. So yeah, let's take a look. First series is Tales of Terror. Just an anthology kind of horror book. It says on the front, the illustrated horror magazine for mature readers. So that's number 1 there. Number 2. And number 3. You'll see some prices on this, and it's pretty much what I did end up getting them for. Number 4, I've had these for quite a number of years. There was this guy that used to, there's number 5, there was a guy that used to go to one of the flea markets, and he was just kind of this independent collector. He used to have a small shop way back in the day, and then he's now out of it completely. But I got a lot of these from him, especially the Tales of Terror, and then another series later. And because I was buying so much from him, and he just ended up giving me deals on everything, because I think it was especially near the end where he just kind of wanted out of all of it. So that was number 5. Here we have number 6. I don't have number 7, but there's number 8. There's number 9 there. There's number 10. There's number 11. Number 12. And finally, number 13. Now, I don't know if that was the actual last issue in the series, but there you have it. So there's Tales of Terror, and that's from Eclipse. This next one is from PC, and it's called Twisted Tales, a Corbin cover there. Again, same thing, horror anthology, just different cover. Just different company is what I mean to say. So number 1, numero 2, Bernie Wrightson cover there, another Richard Corbin cover there with number 3, number 4, and then we jump, looking at these again, I should really make some notes on my phone. We jump to number 8 from number 4, so a few that I'm missing in there. And then finally from Twisted Tales, number 9. So yeah, another pretty great series. And then just some random things that I have from Eclipse and PC. Twisted Tales of Bruce Jones, issue number 1. Just a pretty cool looking cover there. And I mean, he kind of said it himself too. Well, some of these are just like, there's something about this stuff. So here's issue number 2 of Twisted Tales of Bruce Jones. I absolutely love this. The older I get, it's funny how your tastes change. I remember as a kid, this kind of stuff would have just been, oh my god, it's so awful, it looks so horrible and hokey. And I really like the look of some of these, and even like just the way that they're colored and the texture to it almost seems like pencil crayon, you know what I mean? It really seems, especially something like this, just really has that feel of, I don't know, just something unique, you know. I'm sure it would have been unique at the time too, but looking back now, it's really nice to see this kind of stuff and have some nice copies of this in my collection. Here's number 3, The Twisted Tales of Bruce Jones. That was a 4-issue mini-series, and here's number 4 of 4. One that he showed off in his haul, that Dr. Monkeybot showed off, was Vanguard Illustrated, and it is a really, really cool series. Again, more sci-fi, horror-ish type of anthology books. So there's issue number 1. My man Dave Stevens, issue number 2. Al Williamson with issue number 3. Steve Rude for number 4. Kaluta for issue number 5 there. I'm not sure who this one is, number 6. But there you have it. So that's what I have of Vanguard Illustrated. And then what they also did, and this just is how I had this filed, that's why these all are going to be a similar thing here. Another series, Alien Worlds, was another great one as well. But all these are 3D comics. These couple of companies plus some other ones that I have in here mixed in, or one other one rather. So these are mostly Eclipse, but this one that you're looking at right there is PC. So let's have a look at the 3D ones, and they all have 3D glasses with them. Whether they are the actual 3D glasses that came with the comic, I don't remember, or I'm not sure. Some of them I might have had extra 3D glasses, believe it or not. 3D Alien Terror, number 1. 3D Laser Eraser and Press Button, which was a series as well. I think I have a couple of issues of their regular title as well. Mr. Monster, which is a pretty interesting series, especially some of these one-offs and things like that. I have another Mr. Monster series, 2 issues of it anyway, that reprints these old 50s horror comics, and basically it's Mr. Monster, the character of Mr. Monster being like the Elvira or Vampirella or whatever, like the host is what I'm trying to say, the host of the issue, showing off some of these old horror stories. And then there's another Mr. Monster Triple Threat 3D, now in thrilling Skull Vision. Another Dave Stevens cover for 3-Dimensional Seduction of the Innocent, issue number 1. And then a Wrightson cover for 3-Dimensional Seduction of the Innocent, issue number 2. And then from a publisher, 3D Cosmic Publications, which I've never heard of, and it's the only thing that I have. But it's a Jack Kirby Battle for a 3-Dimensional World 3D Cosmic book. Includes free 3D glasses. Let's see if they're 3D video. So those are what came with the book when I bought it. I don't know if those are the ones that originally came with the comic or not. But there you go. So some 3D Jack Kirby for you. That's it from that one box. I'll pause you, and then we'll be back to look at some more. Okay, here we are back again. It's another short box. This one is filled with PC and Eclipse stuff. So let's have a look at these. Alien Encounters number 1. Again, anthology. This one says the Illustrated Science Fiction magazine for mature readers. So there's number 1. Here's number 2. Number 3. It's number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7, again, like 90% of these flea market finds, and then some of them, there's number 8, and then some from my favorite place in town, Red River Bookshop. They usually have a smattering of weird stuff, and especially, there's number 9, especially some of the smaller publishers. They tend to carry quite a bit of, and one of the other places on Pemmican Highway, what the heck's it called now? I'm blanking on the name of the place. It's a bookstore, but he also has quite a few comics. He's got some short boxes underneath, kind of like the Marvel and DC main back issue stuff. He's got some short boxes of some really incredibly small publishers and some really strange titles. I've bought a few things from him as well. Number 10. Yeah, it's not in... it's not tough to find this kind of stuff, but those places definitely seem to have a hell of a lot of them. Number 11 there. Number 12. Number 13, Alien Encounters. And then finally, I believe this is the end of the series, number 14. So there's a look at those. And then the next series, which if you've been watching my videos for a long time, there was quite a while ago, there was a favorite covers thread, I think back when I first started actually. And one of these I had in there as one of my all-time favorite covers. But I mean, just kind of flipping through them now, they're all just, it's quality stuff. So this is from PC. This is called Alien Worlds, and that's number 1, and you can see, excuse me, sorry, you can see a couple of the names there: Williamson, Jones, Conrad, Merrick, and Redondo. Here we go with a little Dave Stevens action. Number 2 of Alien Worlds. Number 3 of Alien Worlds, another very cool cover there. And then here it is, my all-time favorite. If I ever did a color sleeve tattoo, I would love to get it was going to be space and sci-fi themed and really kind of colorful and comic book related. That image or something along those lines of a female astronaut with the old style just a fishbowl helmet there was definitely something that was going to make an appearance. I absolutely love that cover. It's just classic. 1983, that says there, for issue number 4. Issue number 5 with another beautiful cover as well. Number 6, incredible. Frank Brunner. Really amazing stuff. Amazing creature, and I love the logo. Being able to see the background through the letters there. What'd I say? Yeah, number 6, number 7 there. Number 8 with a very Mars Attacks kind of looking cover there. And then finally number 9 with some sort of shrimp looking alien grabbing onto a woman. Really cool stuff. Very cool. That's all that I have of that one. And then some of the other titles I have from these companies. So this is the Unbelievable AXA number 2, all new, all color. I mentioned it in the first part of this with a 3D one, but here's Axle Press Button, also featuring Mista Mystrialis Laser Eraser. Aztec Ace, which I've got quite a few of. This is number 1, or I've got a few of them anyway. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. And then this is a very cool cover, number 11. Really like that one. And then finally number 12. Aztec Ace in bloody pulp. Veitch and Bissett, part 1 of 2. This is Bedlam. And then part 2 of 2, Bedlam. It's a really grotesque looking cover there. Bernie Wrightson, Master of the Macabre, issue number 1. Issue number 2. Issue number 3. Issue number 4. And then here's what I was talking about. So issue number 1 to 4 was PC. And then with issue number 5 of Master of Macabre, it went over to Eclipse. So I believe that's what the shift was, from PC to Eclipse. Whether that was the whole company or whether that was just the title itself that jumped over, I'm not 100% sure, but I seem to think that it was PC that then changed to Eclipse. Brian Bolland's Black Book, number 1. Bold Adventure presents Time Force number 1. Actually, I'll put that on there. And then something I think a lot of people have talked about, the Kirby Captain Victory and the Galactic Rangers. Collector's Edition, number 1, it says. And then number 2. Number 3, I won't spend too much time on these. I have a feeling this is something that probably either most of you have already or have seen it plenty of times. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. The one thing I will say about Captain Victory is the name Crack, the KKRAKK. I think I might have talked about this in a video before. It comes from the first time that kind of, what is it, onomatopoeia, the first time that sound effect word kind of, I don't know, just really stood out, was a panel in one of these Captain Victories. It might have been issue 1. If I can find it in between rolls here, I'll end on that that frame. There's number 9. Issue number 10. Issue number 11 with a great cover. Again, looks like it's like, you know, just felt pen or something that that they've colored this in with. It's really, really fantastic. And then the special number 1. So that's those. Darklon the Mystic, issue number 1. Arthur Soydam's Demon Dreams, issue number 1. These ones are in pretty rough shape. There's number 2, that one's in really rough shape. 50 Centers, Dinosaurs Attack, book 1 of 3, the only one that I have. Some of the Eclipse monthly titles, so issue number 1 with a Ditko character, Statico, The Masked Man, Sax Romer's Dope, which was adapted and illustrated by Trina Robbins, who's pretty big in like underground. Something called Rio, and then Captain Quick and Foozle on the left there. There's number 2 with more of the same. Number 4, Happy New Year, so 1984. Number 9, that's it for those. Edge of Chaos. I've got number 2 and number 3 with some glorious boobage on the cover. What do we got here? PC, Jerry Iger's Flamingo. The Unknown Worlds of Frank Brunner, number 2 of... Okay, here I am, back. It's nice to see some things never change. My battery went dead, so it's now flash forward to the next day. Yeah, so here we go. Let's keep going. Part 2 of 2, The Unknown Worlds of Frank Brunner. Really, really great one. I've been looking for a while for the first one of these and have had absolutely no luck whatsoever. And then we get into Hand of Fate. That one is number 2. And then Hand of Fate. This one is number 3. And it says... well, I guess it's 1988. So by the looks of the front here, it's 10-year anniversary. So 1978 to 1988 for Eclipse, according to that little little top corner there. And then we have number 1 of 3 of a mini-series called Hotspur. Number 1 of Will Eisner's John Law Detective. Looking, 3 complete stories, looking very much like the Spirit there, except with a eye patch and a pipe. Another mini-series, and that is called The Lost Planet, and that's 1 of 6. Yet another mini-series called Luger. It's 1 of 3. And then number 2 of 3 for Luger. And then a whole bunch of Mr. Monster stuff. So Doc Stern's Mr. Monster. I believe that's issue number 1. I don't quite see it on there. And then Mr. Monster number 2 with another Dave Stevens cover. Mr. Monster. Again, not seeing the number 3 in the skull's eye there. So yeah, there's a 1 on that first one there. Mr. Monster number 4 with a very cool looking cover. Not sure who that is. J.B. Bonivert. B-O-N-I-V-E-R-T. Neat looking stuff there. Mr. Monster number 5. Mr. Monster number 9. And then I think it was just a one-shot. Mr. Monster versus Gorzilla. A little Astro Boy happening on the front there too. Mr. Monster's Schlock. So I believe these were the a couple of issues here where they collected some older horror stories, and he was kind of the narrator throughout the whole thing. And then here's number 2 of Mr. Monster's Schlock. Will Eisner presents Mr. Mystic from the pages of The Spirit, Bob Powell's classic occult hero. just move these away here. Doug Mensch and Paul Gulacy's Nightmares, #1. Nightmares #2. Reese's Pieces #1. And Reese's Pieces Part 2. And these next ones here, I've had in my collection since I was a kid, and at the time I was buying them when they were coming out, and I think I had some oversized volumes of these too at some point. I might still somewhere, that I think I got on a trip to England. I'm not 100% sure, but I would have followed it up, and not knowing anything about Eclipse Comics at the time, it was just more of, I liked the stories that I had read before of Reed Fleming, the world's toughest milkman. So there's issue 1 of that. There's issue 2. Like I say, these have been mine since they came right off the racks. That one's a little damaged there. Number 3 and number 4, and finally number 5 of Reed Fleming, the world's toughest milkman. I'm not sure if it went up to 5 or not, but there you have it. And then another one that was briefly talked about, as well, was Saber, Don McGregor and Paul Gulacy. That's #2. To me, he looks very Jimi Hendrix-ish, especially in a couple of the shots. There's Saber #3. There's Saber #4. Dr. Monkeybot's videos, he was showing these two. And I think he had #4 there. So that's #5. Love that cover. It's pretty great. Here we go. Here's Jimi Hendrix, man. It's Jimi Hendrix with a pistol. #6. And then kind of a little bit of a hokey cover there that I'm sure Dr. Monkeybot will love as well. Saber #12. And then we move on from that to P. Craig Russell's Salome, #1 of 1, so just a one-shot. Love that cover. Really like this issue quite a bit too, for just his style of art is pretty amazing. And then one I think that Big Shot Comics had talked about before, or at least showed off before. Scorpio Rose is issue #1, also featuring Dr. Orient. Scorpio Rose #2 and Dr. Orient again. Now I'm not sure, I think that was only a 2-issue series. I'm not 100% sure about that. One that I've never sat down and read, but one I'd love to kind of get everything of and really give it a good shot. This Scout is War Shaman. I think I have these a little bit. I only have a couple of these here. And then #15. And then just the regular Scout series, #13. I believe there were 2 different series. I don't think the title would change that drastically from issue to issue. So there's that. A couple more that I've had for quite a long time too. The Siegel and Schuster's 1930s previously unpublished work from the creators of Superman. And then there's an interview inside this one as well. I believe that's the first issue. And then I believe they only did, again, I think they only did the 2. So this is Dateline 1930s. There's some really cool sci-fi art there. And another one that I don't know too much about, and honestly I never really gave it much of a read through. I really probably should give it a fair shake. Somerset Holmes, this is #1. This is PC Comics now, again we're back with. Somerset Holmes #2. Somerset Holmes #3. Something about the covers just kind of turned me off of it, but I mean, it was one of those things, again, as I'm sure everybody goes through with things that they collect. I bought it because it was PC, and I really would like to get all the PC Eclipse stuff. So there's Somerset Holmes #4 on PC, and then #5 goes to Eclipse. So yet again, another transition midway through the series. Again, maybe it's two different series, one that was for PC and one that was for Eclipse, but I have a feeling that it was just that transition from company to company. But again, maybe Dr. Monkeybot can give me more info on that, because I haven't done as much research on these companies as he has. So there's #6, and that's all that I have of that. Another one that's a really amazing cover art here to the Spiral Path. This is #1 of 2, and sorry I didn't look at names. It's signed Park House, 1986. Name doesn't mean anything to me, but maybe it does to somebody else. But I love, love, love these covers. I really, really like that style and the coloring. And there's Spiral Path, #2 of 2. Another one that ended up in Dr. Monkeybot's video, Sunrunners #2. I think this was another one. I think he mentioned it too, that went from company to company. I know I've seen Sunrunners for a couple of different companies, I think. A Conrad Trilogy. I believe that was just a one-shot. And then the Liberty Project in Total Eclipse. Starring The Heap down there. And another couple of Mr. Monster books, this time with a title called True Crime #1, True Crime #2, and then the comic that you could win $1,000 called Who Done It. You could win $1,000 cash, details inside, and I think it was kind of left on a cliffhanger, and you were supposed to figure out who done it. And then there's #2 with a kind of cool looking cover too. I think it's a Gulacy cover as well. So that's it for that. There might be a couple more stragglers hanging around, so let me pause you there and I'll have a look, and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go, the final few here. Ended off with Corbin Special, Edgar Allan Poe, The House of Usher, which I think I don't know if he redid it into a two-parter. This is #1. I'm not sure if this was a two-parter as well, so I don't know if the one through, what was it, Dark Horse, was a reprint of this or not, but there you go. And then to end it on a even higher note, Miracle Man 3D, #1. And then we get into the original Miracle Man series that I've got a handful of issues of. #1 there. #2 there. #3. #4. I think most of these were, if not all of them, were from the comic convention a few years back. I might have made a video where I showed these already. #6. #8, with a preview of The New Wave. And #10. And then something called Miracle Man Family, which is #2 of 2. Again with the Eclipse 10-year anniversary. And finally, Miracle Man Apocrypha, book 3 of 3. So yeah, I can't tell you much about these, unfortunately. I think one was a reprint of some older things. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, it's been a long time since I looked through there. So yeah, there you have it. That's the PC and Eclipse comic collection there. I'm pretty sure that was all of it. I thought I had a couple of Basil Wolverton stuff as well, but maybe that was Dark Horse. Thanks for watching. Hope you dug it. If you have any information on any of this or anything I've said that was completely wrong, which I'm sure some of it was, feel free to leave some messages, and yeah, I'd love to see what everybody else has. Tony, I'd love to see your PC and Eclipse collection there, see what you have. Alright, thanks. So it's me again. A little addendum. I went to look for some stocking stuffer books for Mr. Tom, and since this has been a thing these past couple days, kind of focused on it, I found some more PC and Eclipse, just 4 books, 2 of each. So just to kind of tack on to the end of the video, I managed to track down Twisted Tales number 6 and Twisted Tales number 7 from PC, so now all I need is number 5, I believe. And then from Eclipse, Bissett and Veitch's Fear book micro series, one shot, so 1 of 1. And then something I didn't know, but I guess it makes sense since there was a 3D version, just a Seduction of the Innocent, issue 1 of 3. So yeah, found those for, I think, you know, $1 or $2 each or whatever. There's actually a place, Hidden City Comics, down on Henderson Highway. I know, which means nothing to any of you, but he's organized that place over the past few months, because I haven't been there in, I don't know, probably 6 months or so. And he's got a lot of like $1 bin books and 50-cent bins and half-price bins. And that was, finding these was just kind of a brief look through those bins. So I'd really like to go back and really scour those suckers to grab all the PC and Eclipse. So there you go, 4 more to tack on. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.